Life has been tricky recently, juggling a full-time job outside of the home, being a wife, a mother, and dealing with some health concerns. It's been a very busy time, and most nights I've fallen into bed too tired to even think about hobbies or YouTube. Thank you so much for your patience and your continued support. Recently we took a short holiday trip to Athens, and I wanted to share it with you. We stayed in the Acropolis Hill Hotel, close to the Acropolis. The hotel was modern and well equipped, with views of the Parthenon sitting on top of the Acropolis and glorious views of the city of Athens. I've always been fascinated about the foods of different cultures. The breakfast at the Acropolis Hill Hotel was a delicious spread of cold meats, cheese, fresh vegetables, olives, tzatziki, a yogurt, lemon, garlic and cucumber dip, pastries both sweet and savouries such as spanakopita, a soft cheese and spinach pastry, along with breads and the thickest, creamiest Greek yogurt with the freshest, sweetest fruit. In fact, all of the food we had in Athens was incredibly delicious. After breakfast, we walked through the streets of Athens, through enchantingly wealthy and impoverished areas towards the Acropolis. At the base, we first came upon the outside of the Theatre of Herodes Atticus, a public benefactor who built the theatre as a memorial to his wife. Hollowed out of the rocky southern face of the Acropolis Hill, it's one of the world's oldest and finest open-air theatres. Standing in the same spot as countless visitors and ancient theatre-goers over the centuries was surreal. I was filled with wonder as I considered how such an incredible structure could have been built without the help of modern tools and machinery. I also wished I could go back in time to see a Greek comedy or tragedy performed here. We made our way up the steps of the Propylaea with the Temple of Athena Nike to our right. I wondered who had walked there, what they had worn, what they had said and how they had worshipped. The structures towered over us and we felt so small and inconsequential. The Parthenon is an incredible temple dedicated to the goddess Athena Parthenos, which means Athena the Virgin, and it was built during the 5th century BC. It was built in thanksgiving for the Hellenic victory over the Persian Empire and served as a city treasury and as a symbol of democracy. The Parthenon is under renovation and will be for many years to come as they sympathetically restore it to its former glory. The Erechtion or Temple of Athena Polias, which means Athena of the city, was dedicated to the goddess Athena. I found it interesting to learn that in Greek mythology, Athens was named after Athena after a battle between her and the sea god Poseidon, where Athena triumphed. After our long trip up the Acropolis, we wandered around the city before grabbing an early dinner and heading back to the hotel to relax, and then to check out the Parthenon lit up at night from the rooftop of the terrace of our hotel. There's something magical about the twinkling lights of a city at night, and although I'm a country girl at heart, I find the city lights relaxing. The next morning we made our way to the ancient Agora of Athens. An agora was essentially a large area open to the public to act as a gathering place for athletic, artistic, business, social, spiritual and political pursuits. The ancient agora in Athens is the best known example. This is what the ancient agora once looked like according to historical research. We found wandering around this rustic and beautiful site to be both peaceful and fascinating. The Temple of Hephaestus, the Greek god of the forge, was perhaps my favourite historical building in Athens. It was mostly intact and sat nestled between trees with a lovely view of the agora. It was peaceful there, and I could happily have spread out a picnic blanket to soak up the atmosphere. The Stoa of Attalus was a covered walkway or portico in the agora of Athens and is now a museum featuring exhibits, Greek statues and artifacts. Later we headed to what for me was one of the most anticipated highlights of our trip, lunch at Fairytale. I was so excited that I only filmed in portrait mode, so I've done the best I could with the editing. Fairytale is an over-the-top fantasy restaurant serving the most incredible aesthetic and decadent treats. I felt like I'd stepped into some kind of girly wonderland. After a decadent lunch that we couldn't possibly finish, we wandered around the Plaka district and through markets and past gorgeous cafes and homes until we happened across this amazing band jamming for the public. Later that evening, we visited a truly lovely restaurant called Leondi and were treated to the most incredible service. The wine we drank was from their family vineyard and was truly exceptional with the seafood dishes and tasted all the better in the warm Athenian sunshine. I was sad but also glad to be heading back home the next day. Thank you for your continued support, friends, and until next time, keep calm and be cozy.